Welcome to the Own Your Family, where real stories and proven formulas are shared about leaving the rat race so you can achieve freedom and spend more quality time with your family. Get ready, mompreneurs and dadpreneurs, to get inspired by earning from home, living healthy, and aspiring for more in life with your hosts, Renat and Katrina.
Hi, welcome to Own Your Family. It's Katrina. In this episode, we will be talking about how to handle physical and emotional stress and anxiety in healthy ways. I love our topic today, and I really believe we all need this information. So stay tuned, guys. Life can be a mixture of fun, beauty, and constant juggling act for most of us. If you're watching this episode right now, why don't you take a break, sit down, relax, and take yourself for some inner calm? Joining me today is a woman who has been helping people understand how to overcome pain, improve their health, and know that it affects the entire body, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. After realizing that teaching in public schools was not for her, she returned to massage therapy, which she has been doing for 20 plus years, specializing in therapeutic and medical massage, and has worked with chiropractors in 3 countries. With her medical background, her specialty allows her to use different techniques such as reflexology, aromatherapy, cupping, and more to assist clients with improving health and movement. She sees massage as body maintenance, and everyone should get them on a regular basis. I am truly honored to have on Own Your Family. Please welcome our guest, Linda Taylor.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know where you want me to start. If you just want me to start with what I was doing, how did I learn? Like you said, I was a teacher and I worked overseas. I took a 1-year teaching job in Korea, supposedly, and then I just never came back. And so that turned into 10 years and living in 3 countries and visiting 3 others in those 10 years. But while I was in South Korea, I did work as a massage therapist on the weekends when I wasn't teaching. I lived about an hour south of Seoul and took a bus every weekend to spend times with friends. And during one of those trips, I remember thinking what it would be like to coach women in the area of health and well-being. The importance is that we are human beings, not human doings. And so we're all focused on doing things and getting stuff done, getting stuff out there. And it just occurred to me that we need to be more in order to have more. So I began keeping notes and reading even more books. And because I was a massage therapist before becoming a teacher, I had done several classes in anatomy, physiology, biology, and it was always an interest of mine about science. But I also developed an interest in personal development while I was living in Korea. And my work on bodies, actual laying hands on bodies, I see the results and feel the stress and anxiety and how it affects the entire being. Almost everybody that walks in my room, if I were going to say, "So Katrina, thank you for coming for a massage today. How am I going to help you?" I'll bet that one of the things you're going to say is, "Oh, my neck and shoulders," because it seems like everybody carries the weight of the world on their shoulders, and that's where tenseness settles.
Right. So Linda, it's really nice what you said about, most of the time they will say, "Oh, I have neck and back pain." That's really true. A lot of people, if they're stressed out or if their bodies are sore from work, juggling family and career, work, life, they think there's really nothing that they can do about it. So they just take over-the-counter pain relievers and just continue through the day like nothing happened. So can you tell us, what are stress and anxiety, and what are the different types?
That's a very good question. So there are different types of stress and anxiety. First, let's define what stress is. Stress is a state of mental and or physical tension. Anxiety is a feeling of worry, nervousness, unease. Usually anxiety occurs because you are thinking about something in the future, and it may or may not happen, but it has become such an overriding thought in our mind that it just becomes constant. So stress and anxiety are just a little bit different, although they do seem to have some of the same effects on the body. Now, there are three sources of stress. It could be environmental, it could be in your body, or it could be in our thoughts. For instance, environmental stress can be the weather, it can be noise, it can be crowding, personal demands, things of that such. Mental stress includes our thoughts and our imagination, because what we think about is what we bring about. Body stress, of course, can be just the result of an illness or accident. Poor nutrition can also be body stresses, or low self-esteem. So there can be short-term stress, which is a response to a recognized threat. All right, the fight or flight. Well, in addition to fight or flight, there's also freeze. There can be lingering anxiety that may not have an identifiable trigger. And like I said before, anxiety is just worrying about a future event that may or may not happen. So there are different ways to know if you are suffering from stress and anxiety. Now, like I said, most people will identify a tightness or a tenseness in their neck and shoulders, maybe in their back, their lower back. And all of those have different mitigating circumstances and origins. But if there's emotional, behavioral, and physical signs of stress, for instance, emotional signs could be apathy, irritability, mental fatigue, anger, or just general unhappiness. And we see that sometimes in a lot of people, or a feeling of overwhelm. Oh my goodness, in our society right now, who hasn't felt overwhelmed? Behavioral signs of stress could be avoidance of doing what they need to do. The ordinary demands of their day, doing things to extremes. You've seen extreme behaviors, kind of like addictions. There could be legal problems, which manifest as rage or sometimes indebtedness. And administrative problems could be poor hygiene, poor appearance, tardiness, not showing up at work on time. Physical signs could be phobias. Sometimes people will exhibit an unnatural fear that has been expanded to an actual phobia, frequent illnesses, physical exhaustion, even a reliance on self-medication. And self-medication can be either over-the-counter medications. It could be those medications that are sometimes considered illegal, or it could be alcohol. Anxiety shows up as a restlessness, insomnia, nervousness, tenseness, a feeling of unease, or just a feeling of impending dread.
Wow. Really interesting, Linda, to know about that. So in regards to, stress, the problems that come out of stress and anxiety, like what's the worst thing that could happen if you keep ignoring the side effects of stress and anxiety?
Again, a very good question. And people need to be aware that if you just keep saying, oh, I just feel stressed, I'm so stressed from my day, I'm just worrying, I'm worrying about this, I'm worrying about that. Well, the health problems associated with stress and anxiety are long. There's a lot. It can be increased blood pressure, cardiovascular conditions such as heart disease. There can be obesity, diabetes, mental health issues, depression. There could be insomnia, headaches. There can be digestive problems from anxiety, and not to sound too crass, but digestive problems can be constipation. You get so worked up and so bound up that things can't move. Another sign of anxiety is social isolation. How many people do you know? And then these last 2 years have just been absolutely insane for forcing people into social isolation. Just a general decrease in quality of life. So the substance abuse, and like I said, insomnia, a lot of insomnia. People are so worried. They wake up in the middle of the night, and if you don't get proper sleep, sleep is as important to the body as nutrition.
Wow.
Have
That's true.
I know that seems like a lot, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Really interesting. All right. Now let's go to the tips and, best tips and advice that you can offer or that you can tell our listeners right now to handle physical stress and anxiety.
Number one, breathe. And I have to I know that seems so simple, doesn't it? Just breathe. But people who are in pain, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional pain, have a tendency to be chest breathers. They don't take a deep breath. They don't breathe in through their nose and out through their mouth. To fully inflate the lungs and exchange the oxygen in their body. If you become really, really stressed, just focus on this point underneath your nose and just pay attention to your breath. So focusing on the breath is number one. Number two, get out in nature. Go for a walk. Go to the beach. Take a walk down the street. Find a park. Just go sit by the pool. Just get outside, walk in the grass, all right? And gentle exercise. Gentle exercise can be yoga. There are a lot of programs on YouTube where you can pull up your phone or YouTube on your TV and do gentle yoga. There's stretching. Even if you just pull your shoulders back, which will inflate your lungs, because everybody's on a keyboard now. So another thing that I'm seeing, forward shoulder and head tilt, because they're always on their phone or they're on their keyboard. And so these shoulders roll forward. Pull your shoulders back. Take a deep breath. There's something very simple. Assume a positive attitude. Now that could be a little more challenging for a lot of people. But if you know what it is that you want, you know what desire, what outcome you're looking forward to, act as if you already have it. Act as if you already are making the money you want. Act as if that situation that is so stressful has resolved. Think about what would be the best possible outcome. Always focus on the positive end result desired is one thing that I always say. Now, to relax the muscles, I'm going to tell you.
Yes,
get a
go
massage.
ahead.
Get a massage.
I love that part.
Yeah, most people do. Decrease your smoking or altogether stop. I always say there's nothing good that comes from smoking. Increase your sleeping. Take a nap. Sometimes our eyes get tired, but we force ourselves to go on. No, just go sit down, lie down, even if it's only for 20 minutes. And the other thing you can do is to keep a journal and write out gratitude list. So one thing that I have been told in a coaching program that I was recently in was to do fear journaling. Now, I had never heard the phrase fear journaling, but I was encouraged to write out your most negative emotions first thing in the morning. What you're fearful about, what you're concerned about, what negative emotions you have, what sort of, what you anticipate to happen. Write it out, get it out of your head, those irritabilities, the worries, the anger, get it out, write it down. So what you're doing is you're tricking the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is actually 95% of your brain activity. A lot of people don't realize that. It's like a program that is already installed on your computer. I like to use the analogy of the subconscious mind is like that refrigerator over in the background. It's running, running, running. You don't notice it until it shuts off. And so that's the same thing as our subconscious mind. It's running, running, running in the background. So then once you get all the negative out, turn it around. Now you're going to start writing. What are you grateful for? Did you wake up this morning? Are you still breathing? Do you have a place to live? Do you have food to eat? Do you have a cup of coffee to start your day? You start even with the simple things. But we have so much to be grateful for. So write that after you've gotten all of this fear journaling out. So those are some things that you can do to help overcome stress and anxiety.
Thank you so much. Yes. Yes,
You
Linda.
can also, I forgot to say, you can take an Epsom salt bath. Now, having small children, Katrina, surely you know that if they become overexcited, one thing that you can do is to put them in a bath. Same thing for us adults. Go take a warm bath. Epsom salts is calming to the nervous system. It has magnesium in it, which is also a deficiency in a lot of adults. EFT is emotional freedom technique, and that's tapping on the various points to relieve tension and blockages in the nervous system. Similar to acupressure, but it's, acupuncture, but acupressure is also something that you can do. And of course, I'm a big one for using essential oils. Essential oils will help the nervous system and your emotions. Emotions are what your feelings come from. Okay, and you can do that either with a diffuser. You can just put it in the palm of your hand and inhale it deeply. A lot of people now are using CBD oil, or you can find a substance that you can take internally to help reduce stress and anxiety. I know that was a whole lot more.
Yeah, yes. Thanks, Linda. Just quickly, I just want to know, what are pressure points in our body for relaxation and relieving stress that even right now our audience can try, even at home?
Right here at the eyebrow point. All right, so you can press right here. This is to the, I forget whether it's the stomach or the bladder. And if you have a headache, press here at the middle of your forehead and at the back of the neck, the nape of the neck, right below the skull. And if you do both of those points at the same time, generally that will relieve a headache. The other tapping point that you can do, and this is to the kidneys, is right here. And just tap right here and repeat something positive to yourself. You know, I am so happy and grateful that I can smile. I am so happy and grateful I can stand up and walk. I am so happy and grateful everything is working to my good. Those are some simple ones. If you want to know more, you can look up EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, and there's a whole series that you can go through for that.
All right. Thanks for that, Linda. Now, none of our guests leaves our show without sharing their favorite inspirational book. So what's your favorite book, Linda?
I am so glad you asked that, because I read a lot. If you walked into my house, you would see there's stacks of books over there. There's books over there. There's books behind me. So I had to really stop and think about. Right now, I am reading a book from the Bible called Proverbs, which is a wisdom book. And I've read it a couple times already this year. Depends on what it is that I'm looking for. For personal development, I like to read Jack Canfield or Joe Vitale. For novels, I like to read Paul Coelho or Jerry Jenkins. So
yes, I'm familiar with those authors in books, definitely. Well, I appreciate your time and your knowledge, your expertise in this area, Linda. Thank you so much. Can you tell our audience how they can get in touch with you?
Sure. You can email me at linda@lindataylor.me. That is LINDA at LINDA, my full name, .me, M-E. Or you can go to my Facebook group, Helping Women Overcome Stress and Anxiety.
There you go. We will put a link in the description of this podcast. All right. Don't worry, guys, so that you can just easily go to the link. All right.
All right. Thank you so much, Katrina, for having me today.
You're most welcome, Linda. And thanks for listening to Own Your Family with your host, Katrina. I hope you enjoyed our deep dive into all the best healthy.
Thanks for listening. Join our online family by signing up for your free account at www.ownyourfamily.com and begin your journey to freedom. Want to get there faster? Book a strategy call with us at ownyourfamily.com/book a call. As always, be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to our podcast and channel so you never miss a future episode.